Hi guys, and welcome back to Down on the Farm. Today we're taking a mile high as we look at the farm system of the Colorado Rockies. Our journey starts in the heart of California's Central Valley with the Low-A Fresno Grizzlies. The team gets its name from the grizzly that adorns the California state flag, and in fact this team was almost called the California Grizzlies prior to the first season in 1998. But for as simple as the team name was to get right, the team actually changed their colors or primary logos 5 times in their first 22 seasons, including 3 times in the first decade. The team got things almost right with their orange and black look that they rocked from 2008 through 2018. And for as much umbrage as I take with the fact that this bear looks very similar to my old hometown Yakima Bears, I think the biggest downside to this look is how exaggerated the serifs on that word mark are. However, the team got things nearly perfect with their new red and black look that they introduced in 2019 and tightened up in 2021. The new word mark is significantly simple, but the serifs are still aggressive, but not yet overkill. They also introduced a significantly simpler but significantly more intimidating charging bear logo that has 4 claw marks over the top of it. I know that claw marks aren't something everybody appreciates, especially over the Grizzlies word mark on their red jerseys, but I love it. At Low-A, this is the place to absolutely go for it. Besides, if you love clean, simple uniforms, there's always the clean white Fresno home jerseys. But now it's time to head up to High A with the Spokane Indians. We're at a complicated time and place right now in the United States in regards to whether or not we think it's okay for sports teams to continue to be named after Native Americans or use Native American iconography. And while I don't think it's my place to answer that larger question, I do think the Spokane Indians offer an example of how you can use this Native American team name and still show some level of respect. If you look at these jerseys, you might notice that's not in English, that's in Salish, the language of the Spokane Indian tribe. This came as a result of a 2006 meeting between leaders of the baseball team and leaders of the Spokane Indian tribe, who the baseball leaders had been meeting with twice a year up to that point. During that meeting, the team decided to proactively face the music, and they laid everything on the table, including possibly renaming or rebranding the team completely away from Native American iconography. But the Spokane tribal leaders liked having a team that was called the Spokane Indians, verbatim. So they reached an agreement that moving forward, the team would continue to be called the Indians, but not in a vague term that could mean anything. Moving forward, they'd be called the Spokane Indians, directly reflecting the Spokane Indian tribe. That included twin logos in Salish and in English. And the team also started to heavily feature salmon iconography, since salmon are at the heart of the Spokane tribal culture. On the field, I love the fact that they found a font that works well in English and in Salish, and that whimsical S is really fun. But the story of the Spokane Indians was never going to be about whether or not their uniforms are just really good or great. The story of this team is how, by reflecting one particular tribe, they offer a solution moving forward about how a team can use Native American iconography if we continue to do that in a way that shows a level of respect and honor. But now it's time to head onward and upward to Double-A with the Hartford Yard Goats out of Hartford, Connecticut. With the 3rd best-selling hat and 4th best-selling t-shirt in all of minor league baseball, the Hartford Yard Goats are one of the most successfully branded teams I've covered in this series so far. When it takes the Trash Pandas, record-breaking merchandise sales, or Bull Durham, arguably the best baseball movie of all time in my humble but correct opinion, to beat you in sales, you're doing something right. Between that fun primary logo of a goat's head chewing on a baseball bat, or team name that's simple yet simply unforgettable, I think the Hartford Yard Goats capture lightning in a bottle. Even that word mark that I would usually classify as too whimsical works here. The colors work really well, as they should, seeing as they're borrowed from the gone but not forgotten Hartford Whalers of the NHL. The thing that I find most entertaining about this team is how nothing in the team's branding reflects what the team is actually named for, which is a switcher or small locomotive that pushes single rail cars up and down the rail yard like a railway version of a tugboat. But at the same time, I don't know if that's necessary here, because as much as I love a team name with deep local roots, historical references, and a logo with some if you know, you know details, sometimes you can just have a team with a goofy name, a fun, simple logo, and a word mark that borders on ridiculous, and it all works because the team knows exactly who it is. They are fun, and sometimes it doesn't have to be deeper than that. But now it's time for me to quit kidding around and head up to Triple-A with the Albuquerque Isotopes out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. In an entertaining piece of life-imitating art, the Isotopes actually get their team name from the 2001 episode of The Simpsons. So when it was announced in 2002 that the then Calgary Cannons would be moving to Albuquerque, a fan vote was held, and Isotopes won in a landslide. In one of the most entertaining pieces of intellectual property law that I've ever seen, the Isotopes readily acknowledged where they got their team name from, and they actually reached a deal with the showrunners of The Simpsons. To put things simply, moving forward, the Isotopes could benefit and profit from the team name Isotopes, but not anything directly regarding The Simpsons themselves. So if you go to a game in Albuquerque, you can take pictures with Simpsons statues, and those were purchased and licensed from the show. But if you go to the team store, you won't find any merchandise with any Simpsons iconography on it. As for how the team did branding this new version of the Isotopes, I think they did fantastic. That red and black works so well in the desert, and that Atom A with the baseball atoms flying around, including crossing the A, look so good, especially on that red jersey and that black hat. Let's just see how that Isotopes word mark looks, especially on that home white jersey. Guys, What in the name of Ned Flanders, Smithers, and Mr. Burns is this? How did you screw up this word mark that badly? Was this a dare? Was there alcohol involved? I genuinely want to know, because when I look at this jersey, I don't see the jersey for a Triple-A ball club. I see the jersey worn by the lead in a cheesy sitcom about a lovable loser called Steve Strikes Out. But what do you guys think? Is this word mark as bad as I think it is? Or do I not see the genius in how awesome it is? Let me know down in the comment section. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here, down the farm.